Yamaha have just released this range and all the influencers have clearly been given these guitars. But obviously the difference here is I pay for my guitars, so I don't have to be nice about it. If it's a bit crap, I'll tell you, okay? The praise that everyone's heaped on this is probably entirely justified. I mean, we'll see if we can find any weaknesses, shall we? What we're going to do now is we're going to take it apart. Hello everyone, welcome to the Guitaristas. Thanks for joining us today. You're very welcome, as always. Today, we're looking at another affordable guitar. This is from the new Yamaha Revstar range, and this one here is the RSE, so it's the affordable version. This one I paid £399 for. And I mentioned that I paid for it because Yamaha have just released this range, and you'll probably have seen that the interweb is currently saturated with Yamaha Revstar films, particularly on this here YouTube. Yamaha Revstar all over the place, and all the influencers have clearly been given these guitars to look at and review. So I thought I'd do the same, but obviously the difference here is I pay for my guitars, so I don't have to be nice about it. If it's a bit crap, I'll tell you, okay? So, well, let's have a look, shall we, and find out. Okay, so this is the Revstar RSE, and E stands for element, which I guess means elements of the RSS, which is the next version up. S stands for standard. And then the next one up from that is RSP, which is professional, RSP. So they go RSE, RSS, and RSP. And they go up in increments, financially. This one's $399. The RSS is $649. And the professional goes up to a whopping $1,599. These are the current retail prices in the UK. And obviously this one, the RSE, like any entry-level guitar, it's going to be a slightly stripped back version. The difference, this is a mahogany body. It's a mahogany chambered body. I'll put a shot on the screen now of the chambering. This is I think it's a proprietary Yamaha thing. I think what they've done here is they've got their pitchfork out and they've gone round and they've done a really innovative, chambering process, to tune the body for maximum sustain and all that. I mean, there's going to be blurb on the Yamaha website about all this, so please check that out. I'll put a link to the Revstar specs because Yamaha are very good at covering all this stuff and telling you why and how they do these things. They put a lot of effort into this, obviously. So this is, but this is just a mahogany body. It doesn't have a maple cap on this RSE. The other two do have a maple cap. So I'm assuming they just cap this off with mahogany. But it does mean that this particular model's quite light. I'm assuming it's lighter than the others. We'll weigh this in a minute. Obviously I can't weigh the others because I haven't got those here, but it's worth mentioning that, I suppose. As you can see, really nice, it's a gloss polyurethane finish on this. Nice, belly cut contouring there and a beautiful contouring on the neck. It's very comfortable. And as you can now see, hopefully on the neck, it's got a satin polyurethane finish. Really nice, slick, smooth satin. It is quite a slim neck on this. I've played it a fair amount now. You adjust to it. But at first I found it, I wasn't sure about this, but yeah, I did adjust to it. So, and I know that the neck, they're the same across the whole range. They don't offer any options as far as I can tell. So if you don't like skinny necks, give it a try first or be prepared to make an adjustment. Rosewood fingerboard, excellent. Jumbo frets. They're not stainless on this particular model, but they are on the other two. But these are jumbo frets, and the fretwork's excellent. I mean, we'll have a closer look at that when we take the strings off. Tuners, they've got these die-cast tuners with, I like the way that they've got these tulip, you know, single ring tuners on, and they're screwed on, as you can see. It's quite a nice look, that. The die-cast tuners, I'm assuming these are fairly good quality tuners. They are fitted across the whole range. So I'm assuming they're pretty good quality, those. And it's a graphite nut, which looks very well, feels very well cut. The action out of the box on this is quite high, but you know, I just took it down. I mean, noticeably high, but I just took it down, so it was fine. I haven't had to do anything else. And yeah, fretwork's, you know, it's great. We'll do some shots of that. But look, this guitar, I mean, everyone's said this. It's really well made. I mean, it doesn't look like a £400 guitar. It really doesn't look like a £400 guitar, and it doesn't sound like a £400 guitar. So I think that the praise that everyone's heaped on this is probably entirely justified. We'll see if we can find any weaknesses, shall we? What we're going to do now is we're going to take it apart. What we'll do first is we'll weigh it, okay, and see how much it weighs, and then we'll take it apart. And while we're doing that, we'll start listening to it, see what it sounds like, and then we'll dig a little bit deeper, and we'll go through the controls and the pickups, and we'll have a listen to what it sounds like acoustically as well. So this is all going to happen. It's all going to kind of intertwine as we progress through this film to try and keep it interesting, really. And don't forget, if there's something specific you want to find out about this, the timestamps are in the description box. I'm going to go into all sorts of nerdy detail that might not be of any interest to you whatsoever. So, if you just want to jump forward to see what the neck measurements are, or what the pickup resistances are, or anything, it's probably there. So check the timestamps, and you might want to hear me playing it. You might not want to hear me playing it. You can skip all this stuff, all right? And if you've got a little bit of time, grab yourself a coffee or a beer or whatever, and kick back and let's get nerdy. Okay, so let's weigh it. £7 7 ounces, nice light guitar, and that's 3.39 kilos. There you go. Just notice these lines. You'd imagine they just go fast as stripes. They're brilliant. Obviously, this is the motorcycle influence, which is very cool. If you like motorcycles, the light's just caught it. I'll try and do some B-roll so you can see this. It looks like these lines, it's not paint, it's not stripes. It's not, what it is they've rubbed the gloss off, if you know what I mean. So they've rubbed the stripes into the surface. That's what it looks like. Definitely, yeah. It looks like they've gone down the top. That's what it looks like. It's very cool. Let's get busy. Let's whip these strings off, and have a poke around. So, beautiful fretwork. The only thing that I've noticed is the nut, the way that it's cut there. It's quite sharp on there. And I did notice straight away that when I was going up the neck, it catches your finger. So I might be inclined to just round that off a little bit because it's a bit sharp. Apart from that, it's obviously well cut, you can see. And the fretwork's excellent. I mean, it's just really superb. For a £400 guitar with, you know, this is obviously consistent across the whole range, and I think the good news is that the entry-level model really benefits from that attention to detail. Yamaha headstock, I like this headstock. Oops, the bridge is falling off. Oh, that's light. Let's weigh this hardware. So yeah, let's look at this hardware. It wants our attention. So this is the ABR1 style. It's got the spring screw retainer on there and the markings on that. A1BR-EG. Just Yamaha's version, or I don't know if they outsource that, but 45 grams that weighs, quite lightweight. Sort of an alley, I suppose. And the tailpiece here, you know, mostly style, it's not particularly light. Yeah, 72 grams, so that's pretty much the same as the Epiphone ones. Nothing light about that. Let's see if it's the same as the Gibson style ones. Some lightweight alley stuff. That's the Faber one. Does it? Doesn't want to go. It doesn't want to go straight away. You could probably force it on, but I'm not going to. And let's try. This is a Faber Gibson style bridge. Oh, that goes straight on. Okay, so should you want to change the hardware on this, I don't know why you'd want to, but just FYI really. Okay, beautiful looking rosewood fingerboard. I really like the way that they've embedded the bushings into the body there. The bushings are countersunk, which is a really nice touch. Knobs are nice and solid. I did have to tighten this one up. There's an Allen key included, fortunately, in the bag. That's how these come off. You just tighten them up and loosen them off. Anyway, it became wobbly. So this is the push-pull one, and it will become wobbly from time to time. So have an Allen key handy so you can tighten it up like I did. And this is the dry cut switch in this model. So it's a low cut basically, and we'll go through that in a minute when we've plugged it in. But that's a push pull. And on the more expensive models, that's it's a boost. In fact, I don't know what they call it, but it's different. It's a different wiring in the other models. All right, let's so what we'll do, let's have a look and see what's going on here under the pickup cavities. Okay. So there you go, that's inside the neck pickup cavity. You can see that the shielding on there and there's an earth wire attached to that, and it looks like there's a long neck tenon going right into that cavity there. And the pickups here identified as G and B pickup co. We've seen that before. And the only other marking on that is N. Yamaha refer to these pickups as VH3, by the way. And bridge, there you go. Actually, you can see the cap. You can see how thick the cap is on that. It's good, sort of 5mm, isn't it? Again, lots of shielding, quite tidy. G&B pickup co. B for bridge. Okay, let's do some pickup readings. So, three-way switch on this one, by the way. The other models have a five-way switch. That's another difference. Let's measure the resistance first. Bridge pickup, got that right. Switch is there up. 8.99 kilo ohms. And on the neck, 8.82, 8.83. Can't make up his mind. Wonder what happens when you engage the dry cut. You lose the reading, basically. That's interesting. Yeah, same. So I don't know about that. So let's now check the inductance in henries. How many henries? So the bridge pickup, 4.41 henries, and the neck pickup, 4.06 henries. So there you go. So let's flip it over and see what's going on in here. This is it's quite a fat, sticky out control cavity, so it'll be interesting to find out why they've done that. There's a very shallow recess for the control cover, presumably to get the push-pull pots in. They needed to make a little extra room, maybe. I'll do a close-up of that so you can see exactly what I mean. You can see how it's recessed. It's quite a small recess there. Don't get that into shot. And there you can see what's going on inside. A tiny little mini pot for the volume, and a push-pull, and some resistors on there, and a circuit board style switch. It's just one of those things I wouldn't want to tackle if something goes wrong. It does go wrong. It can go wrong. I have to fess up. The day they came out, the first version of this Revstar, I bought an RS502, which is the P90 wrap-tail version, which is a brilliant guitar. But the dry switch, and we'll show you what that does in a minute. Or I might have showed you already. No, I haven't. We'll show you what that does in a minute. But the dry switch, it did have some gremlins, wiring-wise. And it needed a little bit of... I think I had to fix it, actually. So, but if you watch this channel, you know I'm not a fan of switching unless it's really good. And I don't know if the dry switch is worth it personally. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But there you go. That's what it is. Yamaha engineering, a lot of thought and effort's gone into that. It's quite an individual design. It's very Yamaha. There you go. Right, while we're taking things off, let's have a look at under the truss rod cover. Okay. So, what we have there is a standard looking, Allen wrench style truss rod adjuster. And it's, pretty tidy in there, pretty neat and tidy. I know on some of the more expensive models, the truss rods change and they've got carbon in the neck and stuff, I think. So it's another one of the differences. Okay. So here's the neck profile and measurements at the first fret. As you can probably see, it's quite slim at the nut and it's got quite a slim neck. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. Again, it's fairly slim. And in fact, Yamaha claim the width at the 12th. If you look at the Yamaha specs on all these, it says that the width at the 12th fret is like 56 millimeters. So I thought, well, that's wide. I measured it. It's not. Look, it's like 52 and a half mil, thereabouts. So that's interesting. So there you go. You can hear how acoustically vibrant it is. Really does sound nice, doesn't it? Plugged in, so we're using the same rig that I've been using the last couple of weeks. It's a little Black Star HT1 and a little Fender 1x12. So I suppose straight into the same rig so I can compare it with the Les Pauls that I was playing the last few weeks, really. And on the board, I've put the Soul Food on today and the Super Overdrive as well. I'm not sure if I'll use the SD one, but we'll definitely use the Soul Food. Apart from that, this is what it sounds like. Fully cranked, only one volume and one tone for the two pickups and a three-way switch, as I said before. Bridge pickup. Neck pickup. So their volume's on 10, so I don't think it's pushing the amp as much as the Les Pauls did. So I think they're probably lower output, but nice and clear though. That's the middle. Obviously put a bit of Soul Food on, it's a different matter. The dry switch, so it's a low cut. This is what it does. Engaged, off, engaged. Not a huge amount on the bridge pickup anyway. Let's try it on the neck. Off. Oh, sorry, no, that's engaged. Start again. Off. With it engaged, off. My feeling with the Revstar that I used to have was exactly the same. It doesn't do an awful lot. An awful lot. It doesn't do a lot. It didn't do a great deal, does it? That was always my feeling before on the earlier Revstar I had. You're constantly faffing around with it and that doesn't make really a lot of difference, so just leave it off. So volume and tone. Start with the volume. tone. Not hugely versatile, these controls. I think perhaps a better parts and not bothering with the dry switch might have been better. Here you go. Let's play something and see what it sounds like. So there you go. It's quite impressive, really, isn't it? I'm talking about the guitar, obviously, not my playing. Yeah, it's a pretty impressive guitar. It's original, isn't it? And I like things that are original. And what Yamaha have done with this, well, I suppose with this second incarnation of the Revstar, I think it was about 7 years ago they actually launched this model unto the world. And I did buy one. I had one from day one that they were released. I was up in Wardour Street at the Yamaha shop up there, getting my hands on the 502, the RS502, the shot black with the P90s. I'm into bikes, as I've said before, and the marketing that they did around the original launch of this was very focused on that whole custom shop culture, which really, you know, it's right up my alley. So I thought, yeah, that's a real good, that's a guitar for me. So I got a 502, and it was a great little guitar. I got rid of it in the end because, well, I replaced it with an SG, to be honest with you. I replaced it with an SG with P90s. And I don't like to see guitars sitting around being unused. Oh, hang on. Doing something wrong here. Look, you know, every now and then I sell something. I always regret it, to be honest with you. But I sold my 502. One of the reasons I sold it, in fact, was because it had quite a skinny neck, as does this. And that's the only thing I don't really like about this. I say the only thing I don't really like about this. Yeah, I think the only thing I'm not so keen on this guitar is that the neck's quite skinny for me. Obviously, that'll appeal to a lot of people. So I'm sure that Yamaha have done that by design. But it's a little bit on the skinny side compared to what I'm used to. Although, as I've said, well, I might have said if I left it in the edit, you get used to it pretty damn quick. And you know, an hour playing this and it's fine. You don't notice it. But if you're going from guitar to guitar, bear that in mind. It takes a little bit of adjusting. Once you get used to it, it's absolutely fine. It's very fast. It's very slick. This satin finish is absolutely gorgeous, really to die for. I actually just noticed that really cool little addition, the logo on the back of the headstock. Very understated, and that's, I can't remember what that means. I did read about that first time around. It means something cool in Japanese, obviously. The whole way the guitar is designed and built, it's class, isn't it, really? It's really well engineered. The neck, this really leaps out on this guitar, the fretboard, the big old jumbo frets and the rosewood fingerboard. This really leaps out as being not a guitar that costs £399. So as I say, I think it's inherited some really nice, tasty bits and bobs from its more expensive brethren. And there's nothing cheap about it. There's nothing cheap about it. No, there's not. I'm thinking out loud. Obviously, that's what I do a lot of the time. But no, there's nothing cheap about it. So great value. As all those YouTubers have no doubt already told you, it's a really fantastic value guitar. And it comes with this it comes with a handbook. It's the Yamaha thing, isn't it? I've got these with me motorbikes, and you get a handbook with your guitar, which is fantastic. And an Allen key, which is really handy because, as I said earlier, this push-pull loosens up very easily. So from quite often, it's a bit wobbly. You'll have to tighten that up. Strikes me as being a really neat cross between an SG and a Les Paul. So just a word on the difference between this and the other models. I won't go through the whole list. I have got the spec sheet, but I'll go through a couple of the differences. The next model up is 250 quid more than this. A couple of the main differences are, this doesn't come with a gig bag at all, whereas the next model up comes with a really nice, soft Yamaha gig bag. It also has the maple cap on it. We don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing because we haven't compared them, but it has a maple cap on it. It also has a 5-way switch on the next model up. You can also get it with P90s and that really cool tailpiece that you'll see on Chris Buck's guitar. And instead of this drive switch, it's got a passive boost, which is probably better than that. So, and it's got stainless steel frets on the other models as well, and this one doesn't. So there's quite a few differences. So you might want to consider, if you can afford it, you might want to consider going straight into the RSS, the standard, rather than the Element. But if your budget's tight, this is fabulous. Whether or not you'll miss any of those things, I don't know. If you want a humbucker guitar, don't know if you'd notice the difference. Be interesting to see what difference the maple cap makes, but that might mean I have to get one, you know, to find out. Let's see. I might have to get one of these with P90s and a maple cap to compare. We'll see. So there you go. I'm happy to report that everything all those other YouTubers said about this guitar is absolutely true. There's nothing rubbish about it. There's nothing rubbish about it at all. It's a really cool guitar, and I think that with this relaunch, you know, with all the publicity, you know, that it's getting from all those YouTubers, all those positive vibes about this guitar, and the Chris Buck, you know, the Chris Buck effect is, you know, I'm sure that can't be understated. He's, you know, made this guitar pretty damn cool, I must say. I'm afraid I haven't got anything negative to say about this guitar. It's fantastic value, really. £399. It's a proper, you know, it's got all the heritage, really well engineered, really well built. It's really cool, you know, it's really cool. It's got a motorcycle connect. It's got a handbook with it. How cool do you want to get? That's it. I'm off now. Thanks ever so much for watching, as always. It's been a pleasure. Well, it's been my pleasure anyway. Join us again next week. Find out what we're up to then, eh? Cheers for now.